Greetings everyone, welcome to my channel Restless Rashid. In this video, we will be exploring about the collapse of the Western Roman Empire. Let's proceed on to the video. The fall of the Western Roman Empire is attributed to the loss of central political control over the western regions of the Roman Empire. The Roman Empire failed in rule enforcement and there occurred territorial division within the empire into successor polities. The Roman Empire lost effective control over its western dominions and became deprived in various aspects. These include army effectiveness and numbers, population numbers and health, competence of emperors, internal power struggles, religious changes, and civil administration efficiency. By 1476, the Roman Empire wielded negligible military, political, and financial power. The Roman Empire lost effective control over its western regions, and moreover, the barbarian kings tried to assert their authority over those regions. It was the barbarian king of Germanic origins named Odoacer who deposed the last Roman emperor and carved out his own kingdom in Italy. In 1313, the Roman Emperor Constantine the Great declared the official toleration of Christianity. As Christianity became the religion of the civil officials, there occurred revenue losses in the cities and difficulty to maintain the strength of the city councils. As a result, certain city services began to be abandoned. There occurred dramatic wealth increment amongst the Christian churches. Both public as well as private resources began to be allocated for the construction of churches, grain storage barns for charity as well as hospitals for the poor. The sequel of these events was the reduction in the number of public building projects. There observed increment in the number of monks, nuns and clerks. This had caused a drain in the limited manpower both in the strength and the efficiency of the Roman army. In 14th century, there eventuated a payrolls inflation which led to the diversion of pays and exemption of duties as well as gross corruption and massive extortions within the Roman army itself. During the Constantine reign, bandits dominated Isauria and other regions and the Germanic tribes became more populous as well as threatening. In 350, the Arbonican villas became deserted as a result of the continual pirate attacks. On 18 January 350, Magnus Magnentius, who was the commander of the imperial household troops, deposed and murdered the Western Emperor Constans. He held peace overtures with the Roman Emperor Constantius, but those failed. This culminated in the Roman Civil War that lasted from 350 to 353. The end result of the war was the defeat of Magnentius and his allies. The Emperor Julian led victories in the Gaul against the Germanic invasions. He launched drive against official corruption, fostered pro-pagan policies in the civil legislation, lifted ban on sacrifices, restored temples, dismantled privileged tax status, abolished Christian revenue concessions, as well as launched an expensive campaign against the Sassanian Persians, and the end result was forced retreat. The Battle of Adrianople commenced on 9 August 378. The emperor's valiant brothers lost their army as well as own lives. This equaled in the Balkan provinces remaining exposed to raiding. Magnus Maximus proclaimed himself to be the emperor over the western domains in 383. He held negotiations with the Roman Emperor Theodosius regarding the acceptance for the title Augustus of the West. But those negotiations failed, culminated in the War of Save in 388. The end result of the war was heavy troop losses on both sides. Argobas, who was the Frankish pagan general over the western domains, nominated Eugenio as the emperor over the western domains and held negotiations with the Roman Emperor Theodosius. Those negotiations failed, which culminated in the Battle of Frigidus on 5th September 394. The end result of the Battle of Frigidus was defeat and death of both Argobast and Eugenio. Ineffectiveness was observed in the Roman army during the period of skirmishing and afterwards. This was caused by the absence of indigenous field forces and the deprivation of the Roman army in various aspects including training, pay and discipline of the local defences. As central control was lost and taxes were withdrawn, there occurred massive corruptions and diversion of pace, causing difficulties to meet the needs of the Roman army and culminating in its collapse. The Roman emperors of the 5th century were incapable to exert effective rule and court control. Apart from brief exceptions, rich aristocrats of Rome became influential in the 5th century who contributed neither pays nor recruitments into the Roman army. They instead passed the money into the Christian churches. Town councils lost power and property in the early 4th century, and power and property became concentrated into the hands of the local despots. The end of the Western Roman Empire was on 4 September 476 as the barbarian king Odoacer deposed the Roman emperor Romulus Augustulus and proclaimed himself to be the Italian leader. However, the Rump States continued. Julius Nepos, who was the Western emperor, ruled Dalmatia until 480, whereas Sigurus controlled the domain of Soissons until 486. Odoacer held negotiations with the East Roman Emperor Zeno for the Italian viceroy and patrician status. Julius Nepos was murdered in 480 and Odoacer invaded and annexed Dalmatia and carved out the kingdom of Italy. That's it friends for this video. Thank you very much friends for watching. Please do like, and if you're new to my channel, consider subscribing for more videos analyzing global affairs as well as Indian affairs. Let me know through the comment section whether do you think incompetent leaders were the major reasons behind the downfall of the Western Roman Empire or not.